You are now tuned in to the Jmack Experience Podcast.
All right, we're back, and we got a very special guest on the show today. She actually made her way here all the way from Connecticut. It's an honor to have you on the platform. Let me give you a round of applause for being here on time, actually early. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, but you know what I need to do is get some advice from you on how to get these on when you're wearing...
Oh, so I'll give you a quick little tip. So you put the shades on first, and then you put the headphones on top.
There's a lot to work with here with the hair and the glasses, but I think the glasses are a vibe. So
I think you look lovely today. Thank you for coming through in full outfit, and full character, matter of fact. Looking amazing. So how was the drive getting to the studio?
I don't have to drive myself, so it's great.
Well, shout outs to the person who did drive you.
That would be that lady.
And her name is?
Ms. Taylor Cushman.
Shout outs to Ms. Taylor Cushman. I want to give her a round of applause as well, because she made sure you were here.
She makes sure I get everywhere in one piece.
Yeah, I like it. So that's your personal, she does everything for you pretty much. Like, she drives you everywhere. She helps you with your outfits. Is that like the type of thing you got going on?
Well, So this is my girlfriend. She lives with me.
Absolutely.
She takes care of me.
That's awesome.
I have narcolepsy, so like driving long distances and then still having the energy to be able to come and do this and then still drive myself home safely. Yeah. And the same goes with when I do like pinup and burlesque. Like, I gotta go perform, like be on, and then like when I'm done, I'm usually exhausted.
Exactly.
And like that's not a safe thing for me to.
Yeah.
Driving sleepy is as bad as driving drunk.
Exactly.
It's really dangerous.
Yeah, well, thank God for her once again. Episode 52, Miss Lilo Violette. I appreciate you coming through once again. We're going to get into the intro real quick, and we'll be right back.
Welcome to the JMack Experience Podcast. This show is for motivational purposes only. However, we will not be politically correct, but our goal is to inspire those who listen and watch the show. Thanks for tuning in. Please be sure to follow us at the JMack Experience Podcast and email us if you would like to be a guest on our platform at the JMack Experience Podcast at gmail.com. Peace.
Once again, I want to thank you so much for being on the show. It's an honor to be in your presence. So for those out there who are not familiar with who you are, what's your name and where are you from?
So my name is Ms. Lilo Violette. Just between us friends, it's Amy. But for intents and purposes, all of my public persona stuff is all Ms. Lilo Violette.
Nice.
But I grew up in Clinton, Connecticut, which is actually where I live now, even though I swore I was never going to buy a house in the town I grew up in. Somehow I ended up back there.
Yeah. Well, I guess it was meant to be, right?
Right. In fact, I almost bought the house that I grew up in, but they kept like coming back and forth on their offers, and finally they got to a point where I was like, okay, no. Yeah,
we can't meet in the middle, huh?
It wasn't supposed to happen, I guess.
Yeah.
So, but that's all right.
New beginnings.
Yeah, right, exactly. My mom's a single mom from the time that I was 6 years old, but like my dad was always part of our life. So like I had like a fairly normal upbringing, but my mom, I don't ever remember her working less than 4 jobs.
Wow.
So she's like hardworking lady, and I always did my best. Like from the time I was like 11 or 12, I started babysitting, doing everything that I could to try to like, I was always that person that was like, nobody asked me to do it.
Right.
But
you took initiative.
Yeah. Like if she was going to work and then go right to another job at the end of the day, like I tried to like make food.
Wow.
Have some, she would come home and I'd be like, do you need a back massage?
Wow, that's awesome.
Stuff like that.
Good luck nowadays with these kids doing that.
I know,
I don't even want to fold clothes.
Yeah.
And it's funny, you just got into my next question, which is awesome. Like, what was it like for you growing up? So you said your mom worked almost 4 jobs, right?
Yeah.
You helped out in the house. Did you have any siblings?
I have a brother, but. Yeah.
That doesn't sound too good. You guys don't get along?
I don't know if he claims me, but.
Sorry to hear that.
I love him. He's only 13 months older than I am. Okay. And I think the close age difference, I swear to God, he was raised by wolves, not in the same house that I was raised in, because we are polar opposites.
Yeah.
But it's been rough for the last several years. Him and I have actually not talked at all.
Oh, well, hopefully he sees this and he reaches out to you and you guys can amend the relationship, right? You never know.
That would be super awesome.
Yeah.
Maybe his wife will see it and at least let me speak to my nephews.
Right.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah, it happens like that. I mean, I'm be honest, I don't even talk to my dad, you know, and that's a big burden in my life. But, you know, you move on. You just leave it in God's hands, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So, all right, so you were doing a whole bunch of things at home. So what else did you, like, what trials and tribulations did you face growing up, basically? Like,
well, I mean, I am a very small person.
Yeah.
If you hadn't noticed, that does leave you to a certain open for bullies.
yeah.
You know, so I had a lot of that kind of situation growing up.
How tall are you, if you don't mind me asking?
4'10" and a half.
4'10" and a half, God bless.
Counts.
Yeah.
Okay. It always,
You
that
gotta
half
count
inch
that.
is important. Okay.
That's so cool.
Boys, you know what I'm talking about. That half inch is important.
Everything counts.
None of that rounding up and down stuff, okay?
Be exact is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
You heard it here first on the Jmack. So don't tell her it's you got, you know, the 8-footer when it's actually
That's
4
what
and a
I'm
half.
saying. You know, like,
Harder, Daddy.
I had to start early
like
too.
that. Yeah.
See, I like it. At least you have a sense of humor. So being
I'm
short.
bad. Don't get me started.
If I do, we'll never stop. So growing up being short, I'm sure that was like, sometimes, you know, you can't even reach things, like simple things off a counter. Like, you must have faced a lot of difficulties.
I was waiting for her look over there. It was like waiting for her to look at me around the corner. She puts things on the top shelf at our house.
Yeah.
If it's something that I'm like, I don't want to see that because I don't want to eat it.
Exactly.
Like, I don't. She puts them up there because I can't see them at all.
Yeah.
I'd have to climb something.
Oh my gosh. So you don't have a step stool or little ladders in your house and stuff like that?
I mean, yeah, we got things. But
I'm being
I have
nosy.
a girlfriend who's 5'9". I just
yeah.
ask her to get the things I can't reach.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like, you know, step stool. No, I just wait till she gets home and say, honey, can you please go get that for me?
So you were getting into bullying because you specified that immediately. So were you bullied as a child, I'm assuming?
Yeah. Not only am I tiny, but I'm tiny and a lot extra. And that was the same when I was a kid too. I talked a lot. I was loud. I was vibrant. I just was into everything, and right. I'm a talker. So I was the Hermione Granger raising her hand like a little nerd in class all the time. Like, pick me. I know the answer every time. You know?
We already heard from you.
Yeah, right. I was like, can somebody else in the class answer? I'm like, if somebody else in the class could answer, they'd have their hand up. Like,
I knew this was going to be a great episode because we spoke a lot during the convention, which was pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, and in class, like, people took you more or less like you were like the nerd and the short one and this and that.
So it started with that. Like, I'm easy bait to like pick on, you know, because I'm small and I'm a little nerdy and a little out there, you know. And then when I got older, I got artsy, and then that made me even more like reclusive, you know. But I was still Little Miss Personality. But here's the thing that you learn when you're older. So I went to my 20th reunion for school. And a girl who teaches now comes to me and she says to me, I just want to let you know that I think about you a lot with my students. And I said, why is that? And she said, because I have a name that nobody's probably ever told you. Like, I call them floaters, social floaters.
Right.
And I said, okay, what's that mean? And she's like, basically, they have friends in every single social group. They have people they get along with in every single group. Yet these are the people that they go home and nobody calls them to go out with them. So they think they don't have friends.
Yeah.
They think that they're losers and lonely and like not worth like having their own social group. They don't realize that they have this little gift where they have a piece of they could get along and float around and go to every other social group and not feel like left out.
Exactly. And build relationships.
Great. But at the end of the day, you go home as a teenager and like you want that call that says like, you know, you don't want to go in on Monday and it's like, oh, everybody went to this party. And you're like, dude, I know everybody that was at that party. Why the hell didn't anybody call me? You know, and that was me. So like I felt left out.
So you were like the outsider looking in.
Yeah. But it turned out I was really the insider that just wasn't invited. I don't know how that works.
Yeah, that's kind of weird. I've never heard of that. That's the first time, actually.
But it was a unique perspective I had never had before, like through the eyes of somebody who now teaches. And she was like, you know, she goes, I try to tell those kids, like, you're actually probably the most popular person in school, but like low key.
Yeah. Well, you probably, you know what it is too? Like when people know that, you kind of get a lot of haters too. So they might feel either they're hating on you or they're like intimidated by you.
Yeah.
And all that plays a part.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. So your childhood, it wasn't like you had a horrible childhood, I'm assuming, correct? Right?
No, nothing. I mean, you know, shit happened, but like, you know, but you know, nothing that, you know, people have it way worse than me.
Right.
A lot worse.
Yeah, you know, people come from broken homes or their mom used to smoke crack.
A little bit of like your story a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
And the more people I know, the more I realize that like I have a great mom.
Yeah.
I have a great mom. I'm like, I'm the luckiest girl in the world. I have a great mom. And not everyone can say that. And I really wish they all could.
Yeah, shout outs to the moms out there. What about your dad? Was your dad around?
Yes, my dad is a better dad to kids than he is to adults. Let's put it that way. I think that's probably the easiest and nicest way to say it.
Exactly.
But we have a relationship. When he's up during the summertime, we go to breakfast at different spots near in the 3 or 4 towns around us. We pick different locations and we go and have breakfast together, you know, once every week or two.
What's one of your favorite breakfast places to go to?
Oh my God, there's this place called the Turtle Cafe in Westbrook. It's this little hole in the wall. It looks like nothing. Yeah. Okay. But they make the most amazing food there. Like I'm talking, they have a lobster omelet.
Ooh, that sounds really good. I'm big on the
so good.
What's the one? The holidays. Yeah, that's my thing. Like, yeah, that's what I like. The egg Benedict.
Benedict there too.
Oh, that sounds. I'm not really big into seafood, but I definitely love like.
They have a whole bunch of. They make a whole bunch of. They make a lot of stuff with like chicken and chorizo.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that sounds good.
And like it's gourmet. Like the guy's like in a chef.
I definitely want to check them out. What's the name of the place again?
Turtle Cafe.
Turtle Cafe. So, you know, I like to like smooth my way out and I like to know the whole story. That's why I wanted to start from the very beginning, you know, what it was like growing up. But now we're moving on. Who inspired you to become a photographer? Because I'm assuming that's one of your talents that you started. The first one of the talents that you basically embarked on that journey, correct?
Yeah.
So who inspired that?
What's really interesting is like, so I always like identified myself as an artist. And the first time I ever did photography when I was in high school, and I'm going to date myself right now. I already said I went to my 20th anniversary. So y'all know that I'm definitely old. You know, we like had actual cameras with film. We had to develop and go in a dark room.
Oh my God, I was going to say the dark room. That's crazy.
Yes, which, you know, things happen in there, but that's a different day and different
Things
story.
happen in the dark room?
Well, yeah, you know, I mean, you put teenagers and you give them access to a room that's mostly pitch black.
Yeah.
Oh, harder, Daddy.
Things happen.
In school? Wow, you guys were on another level those days. In the dark room, huh?
There was not.
Did the door lock at least?
Well, yeah, because you had to be able, like, you had to hit the in-use, you know, thing so that people wouldn't open the door. Because if somebody opens the door, it ruins your film.
Right.
So
exactly.
yeah, back when we did not do digital, guys. Okay.
Oh my God, I was gonna say no digital, no computers.
You hand edited everything, and when you had to develop the film into slides and then enlarge those on the machine. And you had to like adjust the focuses, do everything manually yourself.
Just to get one photo.
For one photo.
Oh my God.
None of this like 30 shots and then like, I like this one the best.
My phone's not fast enough. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean?
Your phone's not fast enough. Like, wait a month. Like, tell me, you know, when you have the patience to wait like a month or two while you like send out photos and wait for them to come back, then you can talk to me how your phone is not fast enough.
So how long did it take for one photo, more or less? Like, how long would it take just to do one photo?
So if I took you develop the whole entire, you know, roll.
Right.
Or whatever. So like, so you develop the roll into slides. That's probably like 10, 15 minutes or so of darkroom time. And then you have to go and enlarge each of those slides. And then you have to put them in the 3 different layers of the developer.
Right.
So for each one that you enlarge, probably like have another 15, 20 minutes worth of work. So for 24
Yeah, 24 photos.
24 images, if they all came out good. 24 images, you'd be spending a couple of hours in the darkroom.
So this was the Kodak days, the Polaroid days, right? I had a little Kodak. I used to get like films for it in Rite Aid and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I take pictures of my classmates because I've always had. This is why this episode means a lot. First of all, you're the first photographer that I've ever interviewed, which is awesome. And I love taking pictures and I love film. Yeah. So I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. But I always used to have a camera with me everywhere I used to go, and like how aren't you amazed at how far like photography has come? Like
I am. I think it's amazing. In fact, I feel like sometimes it's really hard to keep up in a way.
Yeah.
But the essentials are still the same.
Right.
So you're still looking for the same aesthetic whether you're now editing on, like Lightroom or even on your phone, like on certain apps and things that you can use and stuff like that. Even if you're doing it that way, it's still a matter of like having the eye of the photographer.
Exactly.
And also like knowing how to produce a result, that makes, you and your client feel great.
Exactly.
And not everyone
can do it.
Just gets it. Like they know what they're looking at is something that they like, but they don't know how to get it from hey, here's a snapshot to hey, here's like this beautiful photo.
Not to cut you off because you also model as well, but like when I first started doing photography, obviously I wanted to be like, the playboy of photography at one point in my life. I wanted to like have beautiful models, girls, like in swimsuits and shit like that. Then I started like doing actual photo shoots with the girls that I was like are ideal, which I thought, and they're like, this is too much fucking work. And I'm like, this shit's work. Like you gotta fucking pose, and it's not for everybody is what I'm trying to say,
Correct.
Yeah. So, all right. So you started early on with, the beginnings of photography. Yeah. And then, but was there anybody in specific that inspired you to become a photographer? Like maybe a family friend, someone in the family, your mom?
No, strangely, I don't really have like somebody who's like a mentor for me in that sense. And probably why I kind of got back into it. And throughout the years, I always said like, so I was really heavy. I'm losing my headphones. Hold on.
Oh, no worries.
Let me adjust.
Take your time.
Okay.
So you were a little on the heavy side, you said?
A little. Yeah. So I lost 132 pounds, people.
Wow. Congratulations to you. That's awesome.
That's like double the person you see here.
Wow.
Okay? So I was heavy for like most of my adult life, and my solution to like not being in photos was that like I always volunteered to be the one doing the photos. Gotcha. Right? So like I could hide behind, I'm like, oh hey, I'll take that photo. Oh hey, you want a group shot? Let me take that. I'll take your, you know what I mean? So like my former mother-in-law, like when she got married, I was like, oh, I'll do the photography for the wedding, and that way I'm not in any of the wedding photos.
Oh
like,
my God.
You know what I mean?
So you had like very like you had a lot of complaints with it, like, self-conscious issues and stuff like that, right? I'm assuming.
Yeah. It's so funny. It's like you just fast forward so many years later, and there's so many things I wish I could have told myself then that, but I did not want to be on camera. I did not want to be in front of people. I did not want people to take photos. I would have been like, oh, that's cute. Can we like phone this in? Wow. Like, like you and I sitting here in the studio. No podcast today. Wow. I would not get on a stage to take my clothes off for people. I would not get on a stage with this on for people. And there are girls that do, and I love them, like that they can embrace
and they're
their
confident,
body,
right?
Oh, they got the confidence I could have never had.
Like women like Lizzo and shit like that. They're very confident.
Okay, I'm sorry. You cannot complain to me about, like, people say all the time, oh, how she's unhealthy. I'm like, have you ever seen what that woman does at a concert? Yeah. You strap on a pair of 4-inch heels, dance, and then sing like that for like 2-3 hours straight, and you cannot tell me that girl is not in shape. Okay,
exactly. Yeah.
I'm like, just because her shape is a different kind of shape, she's still in shape.
Well, you know what's crazy too? I'm gonna be honest. I can relate to you as well because I've been heavy my whole life, and I've dealt with that all my life. Like being heavy, wanting to lose weight. Even now, I'm in the gym trying to lose weight. It's very difficult sometimes for certain people to lose weight. Like it's just not something. Some people they're just fat because they choose to be fat. Like no, like some people they're genetics, or it could be a number of things. It's just not as easy for them.
Yeah. I had a combination of things, and I would be like, I'd be at the gym. I was at the gym 5 days a week for at least an hour and a half to 2 hours. I saw a trainer at least once a week.
Yep.
Okay. That was to keep myself under 200 pounds.
Wow.
That was the effort I had to put in to keep myself under the 2 mark.
Got you.
And I could never drop below the 180s.
How did you, if you don't mind me asking, how did you end up losing all this weight and looking so fabulous?
Well, thank you. So I actually got in a really, really bad car accident, which is the bad news. But as it ended up being a really good catalyst for something else entirely, because what ended up happening was my orthopedic surgeon was like, you really need to lose weight and lose it permanently. And when I had the accident, I ballooned in weight because I suddenly couldn't do anything.
Right.
For 9 months, I wasn't even partial weight bearing.
Oh,
so
man.
like now I'm just sitting around and I'm crying because I can't go to the gym and and I'm like, I'm just gonna get fat again. Oh my God, freaking out.
Like the movie The Whale. Have you seen the Whale movie?
No, I don't think I've
You
seen
gotta
it.
watch the Whale movie. It's pretty good. You gotta watch it.
It's on the list now.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, I'm freaking out about this. And sure enough, I got to the heaviest I had ever been, 262 pounds.
Oh my Lord.
Yeah. So I got to the heaviest I had ever been, and doctor was like, you need to get this weight off of this if you want this repair to your ankle to hold.
Exactly.
So that led down a whole entire path that led to me getting weight loss surgery.
Gotcha. Also, you got the surgery done.
So I got gastric sleeve surgery about 6 or 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
And that is how I ended up like finally losing all of the weight and keeping it off. But it's still work. And I say that to people all the time. If you ever want advice about this stuff, I can totally give it to you. Like just hit me up. I'm an open book about it. There's a reason why there's like a waiting period for most insurances. And you have to get every single system of your body, like basically checked out before you get this surgery.
Exactly.
It's because it's a tool. And I say just all the time, it's like any other tool, right? Like if I just hand you a hammer and I say, hey, there's a nail, and nail it into that board, and you've never seen a hammer and nail before in your life, you're like, okay, what do I do with it?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And you're like, okay, great. I'm going to show you how to use that tool. But like if literally you're just like sitting there staring at the hammer and looking at the nail and like not putting any effort behind it,
it's not gonna work.
It ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
It's not gonna work. And if you're not listening to the person, like doing what you actually need to be doing, like striking it the right way and whatever, like you can get a janky nail, right?
Exactly.
It's not gonna work out.
Yeah.
So it's like that. You have to maintain and stick with it, and
you gotta work out still, right? Even if you
Yes.
get the surgery, because I've heard that people say,
good thing I'm a dancer.
Yeah, you still gotta stay in shape. You gotta watch what you eat. You can't eat as much grease anymore. I'm assuming, right? All that stuff comes into play.
So it's like high protein, low sugar, low fat, low carb.
Oh, this is interesting.
Yeah,
this is very interesting.
Which then gave me kidney stones, a whole nother thing. I'm a mess.
Oh my God, it just doesn't stop. So how do you feel now overall after you?
Great.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome.
You move through the world differently when you're a little smaller.
Exactly.
And I don't think that everybody has to lose weight. That's the thing. I really don't. I think that like if you are healthy and your body is doing what you need it to do and you feel good in it, then more power to you, be who you are. For me, weight was a problem for me and the way that I looked at myself self-worth wise.
Gotcha.
I couldn't look in the mirror. I didn't like the way I looked naked. I didn't like the way I looked clothed. And losing the weight solves some of those problems, and the rest of them I solved by becoming a burlesque dancer.
So let's get it. Because I had a few more questions about the photography. So what type of photography did you specialize in when you were doing photography?
So I love doing portrait photography. I absolutely love it. I love doing, but I'm really loving and getting into the pinup style.
Gotcha.
Right now, and I really love like making people like burlesque, boudoir, all of the like really intimate portrait photography that
the
like
grown and
really
sexy
lets people see themselves in a way and like be like, holy crap, I'm freaking like I'm handsome, I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous. Like I want people to see themselves how how I see them, how my lens sees them, and how the world actually sees them instead of how they take themselves and see themselves.
I like it. I like it. Now,
it's got power.
What kind of camera do you prefer to use? Do you use a Sony, a Nikon, Canon? What do you like to use?
So back in the day, I loved like when we did the regular format, 32 millimeter format. I loved using Nikons all the time. Ever since digital, I switched to Canons. I really like them. and you know, I would play around with going back to like a Nikon. They have some really, really nice digital
I started with a
options.
Nikon too, to be honest. Yeah. Now I got a Sony. But yeah, I got the A7 III.
It's like, you know, I have a thing about like companies that like are like a thing and then they like decide to like do another thing.
Yeah.
And it's like Sony is great. Like let them stick to like no offense.
PlayStation.
So maybe like stay in your lane a little and like do like the gaming systems and the sound. So, I mean, when I was a kid, Sony was like Walkmans and Discmans.
Exactly.
You know,
I had a Discman.
Yeah, love those things.
Awesome.
Bright yellow.
Yeah, they had different colors. I had the silver one.
All right.
That's so
you're
crazy.
like walking around. You're like, okay, so I bounce when I walk. So like, it just drive me crazy because you know, like.
Well, remember they came out with one that you could run with it. Yeah, it was like a yellow and black one.
That's some BS.
Yeah. Wow, we're bringing it back. This is awesome.
I love it.
Now, there's so many things to learn when it comes to photography. Did you go to school to learn the art of photography, or did you just learn from experience?
Definitely just from experience.
Wow, that's awesome. And this is before YouTube too, right? Because now everything's on YouTube. You can learn. So just hands-on experience.
Yeah, I think when I was like 15, I shot my first wedding. My boss at I worked at like a store in the mall, and my boss was like, "I'm getting married and it's a backyard wedding, and I don't need like an official photographer. And you had mentioned that you
want to do my pictures for free?
Yeah, do you want to do them?" And I was like, "Okay, sure." I think she threw me like $200, which was really nice.
Yeah, right. Hey, it's something. Right?
I showed up. And I'm like teenage. I'm like $200. That's great. Like, I'm gonna go shoot your wedding. That sounds great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. So and I didn't know people, so like I just shot. I was like, I don't know who I need to get in these. I wasn't professional or anything.
Yeah, just learning.
Yeah, just learning. But you got to have people that'll be willing to take a chance on you like that.
Exactly.
In order to develop anything
and get your experience in, right?
Get your experience in.
Yeah. Now, congratulations, by the way, on having your photography published internationally on Wonderland Pin.
Yeah,
that's amazing. How did you make that happen, and how did you feel to get that opportunity?
I am totally stoked about it because that makes me an internationally published photographer, which is really cool and fun thing to say.
Wow. From your first gig at $200 to now being internationally published.
I think it's amazing. Yeah. So it's a French publication. And my friend Liberty Bell, one of the other pinups, she and I became really, really good friends through the pinup community. And she was like, she's like, you should get published. Like, you take the cutest photos. We should get you published. And I was like, okay, great. So I actually had taken photos of her at the tattoo convention. Just
nice.
She wanted to use the sandworm that I was using on stage.
Oh, that was the girl with the Beetlejuice outfit, right?
Yes.
Hey, shout out to everybody at the Tommy's Tattoo Convention. That's actually where we met. I have a few questions about that, so I don't want to skip ahead too much. But that was an amazing show. Yeah, because you were behind. You pretty much, it was because of you that they had that going on, correct?
Yes.
That's one of my questions further on. So back to what we were talking about. So you were internationally published recently. And I was just asking, like, how did you land that opportunity? How did it make you feel?
Amazing. It's so amazing to be able to go back into doing, the art and the things that I really, really love.
Right.
Like I said, so basically I'm 41. Okay. So just to mention that.
You don't look it at all. So I don't know what it is nowadays with women. They're like so thing about their age. I don't know what it is, but it's just a number. Don't let that, don't have it in the back of your mind so much.
Right?
Yeah.
But my point of saying that is because I didn't hit a burlesque stage until I was the age of 40.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, so this is very recent.
Yes.
Wow.
So I didn't start doing pinup until I was 39.
Wow.
I got divorced.
Right.
And suddenly I could just, feel free to
be
be
yourself.
And I got to suddenly say like, hey, here's all these things that I've always wanted to do, but I had something else in my life that made it hard for me to do the things that made me.
Because you were in a commitment, correct? And I guess you felt like that wouldn't be okay if you were to do these things?
Yes.
Yeah.
The person that I was formerly married to was not the best possible person
and
for me to be myself and do
Gotcha.
what I would like to do.
Gotcha.
Or it just, you know,
that's a long
there's a
story.
reason we're not married.
That's
okay,
a long
like
story.
we don't have all night, all
Gotcha,
right? And I don't want to be like some bitter sow.
Yeah. Well, sometimes situations will keep you from what you want to do. That's what I'm trying to get out of the whole thing. Like sometimes, you know, and now
it's never too late to start.
That's what I was gonna say. Like I'm a firm believer now. Like just go out there and, you know, if that's what makes you happy, even if it's you want to be a porn star, a fucking stripper, I don't care what the fuck it is. Like if that's what makes you happy, just fucking do it. You know what I mean? Don't let no one stop you.
That's the thing. So I think that it's you know, it's just amazing to be able to reinvent yourself at any point in time.
Right.
And to limit yourself always by saying, I'm this age, I can't. Or I'm at this point in my life, I can't.
Yeah.
It's like, no, you're just unwilling to live uncomfortably enough for you to accomplish the thing you want to do.
Yeah.
So I have like this very unpopular opinion where I say people would rather be comfortable and content comfortable and not content than be uncomfortable but content with their life.
I like that. That was one of the dopest things I've ever heard, because I'm gonna be honest, I'm kind of dealing with that now. Like since I embarked on my journey like full time, like I was half-assing in the very beginning, but I'm gonna be honest, this has been the hardest year for me. And it's because I'm really focused on this and I really want this to happen. And like nothing matters, even if I'm not making money off of it, or, you know, even if there's some weeks I don't even have it, but like I'm still going for it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy that you said that, because I could definitely relate to that as well. So now you also have a spread as a model in their November magazine. Where can we purchase that magazine and when does it exactly come out?
Yeah, so that magazine, that's the Gas and Iron edition. Nice. I took a series of photos with a friend of mine. No, actually, I am posed with a friend of mine's amazing lime green Hellcat.
Ooh, I can't wait to see this. Yes. This is so cool.
Yeah, so he has this amazing lime green Dodge Hellcat that's all custom, and he let me use it, drape myself all over it for a photo shoot. And thank you.
Oh yeah,
much.
Shout out to
Thank you very much, Jed.
Thank you.
So I did a whole spread for that, and my friend Liberty Bell helped me send it in to Wonderland Pin, and they're going to be publishing me. That should drop on the 21st.
Nice.
And you can buy them on MagCloud. So you just look up Wonderland Pin on MagCloud, and you just look up the November 2024 Gas and Iron edition.
Tell me you're on the front page.
I don't think that I made cover, but I really won't know until they drop the magazine.
I can't wait to see it. Well, hopefully you did, right?
Yeah, they didn't send me. So some of the magazines will send you a notification and say that you made cover, and other ones don't tell you. And then when they release it, you're just like, oh, I got the cover.
Would you ever consider doing a calendar as well? That'll be kind of cool.
Oh my God, that's such a funny story. So remember we were talking, not on here, but we
definitely
talking,
connected. Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about the photo shoot that I did for the Grow recently.
Right.
Okay. So, interestingly enough, the green grow woman that I was talking to you about, she has a friend who has 11 strains at her grow. And so we were going to talk to her about the potential of doing a strain calendar. So doing like the pinups, each dressed in like the different, like to somehow represent the different strains, and then release a calendar.
Oh, I like it. So this is going to be, for those out there who don't understand the lingo, this will be a cannabis related photography session. That's pretty cool. Now, what style of burlesque? Let's go into the whole community of burlesque and how you got into that. Yeah. How long have you been a burlesque performer?
So I just had my burlesque anniversary.
Nice.
So my first official performance, or like actually I was stage kitten first. That was November 12th. So what happened is I threw pinup. I was at a pinup pageant. I met a woman, Siren of the Circle, who has been producing burlesque in the North Shore area of Mass for a decade. She seems so young to have been doing it for a decade. I love you, Siren. I don't know how you say that young.
Where can we follow her at?
It's at Siren of the Circle.
Nice. Okay.
Hit her up. She's amazing, and all of her shows are amazing. You will never regret going. They're phenomenal. So she became my burlesque mama.
Gotcha.
So I met her. I told her, I was like, oh, I'm a ballroom dancer and I teach ballroom. And, you know, I've always loved like performing and dancing. And I had just recently been in a production of the musical Chicago. And
Wait, really? That's all in New York?
Just like a local one. No.
I was gonna say, because that's a big one in New York.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not that great.
Wow. I don't say that. You never know that anything can happen in life.
I'm apparently very compelling on stage, but I don't know about being able to keep up with Broadway level.
Broadway's another world.
Yeah, it is. It is hard work. But you know, I really enjoyed it, and I was like, you know, and I'm really enjoying like being able to like know my body and love my body and realize that like other people also think my body is pretty amazing. Yeah. And think that I'm a really great performer and I get a lot of really great feedback. And, you know, so I had met this woman and she was like, oh, you know, I actually produce burlesque shows. I'm not just a dancer. I've been producing for more than 10 years. So it's like, oh, great. So we became friends.
Right.
And she was like, since you already have musical experience and stage experience and all of that, and you have lots of dance experience, just not in the same thing. She's like, why don't you come check out what burlesque is like, and you can do Stage Kitten for me, which...
that's your style of... that was one of my questions. That your style of burlesque?
No, so, we're going to get there.
Oh, you see, I came ready. I came ready.
I love you. Yes, no problem.
No.
So she had me do Stage Kitten first. And what the Stage Kitten is, if you don't know, because this is I'm going to give you terminology lessons.
You gave us a hint with what you're wearing today, by the way.
This is how I got my start, by being a kitten.
Cats. Have you ever seen that show? That was a good.
That's amazing.
I never got to see that one. Remember the Broadway musical? Remember the commercials they used to?
Well, so the creepiest thing about Cats when you went to see it as an actual musical,
you watched it?
Is that when they start, the cats actually come through the audience and it's pitch black, and they have eyes that glow.
Oh, that's so cool.
So they come through the pitch black audience down the aisles, and all of a sudden you just turn and there's like
cats.
Freaking cat in your face, like a giant human-sized cat in your face.
That's so cool.
Scared that's what I did the first time. Yeah,
that
I was
is
like, oh
so
my god.
Cool.
Okay.
So you ended up doing a show with her, right?
Yeah, so I ended up stage kittening for her, and stage kittens in the burlesque world are like your hardest workers, but like kind of least appreciated people. But she's Siren is amazing because she thinks that everybody that participates in the show should always get paid for their work and be shown what they're worth and all of that. And I took that page from her book when I started producing.
Nice.
And she also helped me with everything for producing my own.
Nice.
So my favorite style, I love all burlesque, don't get me wrong. My favorite style to perform would definitely be what they call nerdlesque.
Nerdlesque. Like it.
Yes.
You're showing us something new. What does that mean?
So nerdlesque is like anything that has what you would consider a nerdy theme, or
that's
so
awesome.
like
naughty,
like a Star
schoolgirl
Wars
and stuff like that too. Schoolgirl.
Schoolgirl.
Teacher.
You know, like whatever.
That's
like
awesome.
Doctor Who or Star Trek or the princesses. Or I've done video game nerdlesque.
What character from video games?
I was a Moogle.
Oh, nice.
So like, I don't know if I have a Moogle tattoo on the back of my neck.
Oh, nice. I see.
Yes.
You got to send me a picture so I could post it when I edit this.
Yeah. So I was a Moogle which is from Final Fantasy, if you don't know.
Final Fantasy 7 was one of my favorite games.
7 is amazing. And then the remake, which
the
is
remake
great.
is fire. Oh, you play video games too? Yeah, what don't you do?
I'm a nerd.
So cool.
I'm a nerd.
I used to like Cloud, Sephiroth. This is great. We're bringing it back.
I'm not sure what I don't do.
Yeah, that's so good.
Yeah, that's a hard question for me. I like dip my fingers in all the pies, you know.
I like it. You got to get dirty.
That's right.
So, what's your key personality trait on stage?
That's hard. I feel like my audience members would just say like just straight up hitting you with the sexy all the time. For me, I like to have fun with it.
Yeah.
I always really listen to like what the lyric of the music is and try to like tie my routine into what's going on with the music. Some people it's just 8 counts and beats and it's like, okay, I want to do fast, I want to do slow, whatever. But I really like to like feel the intent of the music. When you were at the show at Tommy's, I did 2 routines. So I did the Bride of Chucky, and that was so much fun. And then I also did my Evil Queen. Nice. Which, you know, the Bride of Chucky one was just like more like in your face, sassy. Yeah. You know,
horror.
You know, and then. But I felt like the Evil Queen one was just like...
That was you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was
like,
the one
it was like sexy power.
You had like a purple outfit on that one, right? Yeah, that was fire. I thought you was the lady from The Little Mermaid.
Like
that's
Ursula?
what I thought. Yeah. That's
whatever, they're all evil queens.
That's what I thought. I think it's a Little Mermaid theme, but that was pretty cool. Now, I know that show days can be difficult at times and overwhelming. How do you mentally prepare for your performances?
You get up really early in the morning because I usually can't sleep the night before.
You get anxious, right?
I do. I don't know. You were saying like how recently you really started to like focus in on this and all of that. And I feel like I've had a bit of like what they call imposter syndrome. Yeah. You know, it's like until Tommy's happened. Right. Like leading literally until the moment the first person stepped their freaking toe on the stage and it was like actually happening. Yeah. I was in imposter syndrome mode the entire time. Like, you know what I mean? Like here I am trying my best to like get something really great happening, you know, something new that's never been happened in this space before. Yeah. The performers that I had also are very used to performing in a different type of space. Yeah. Where it's like primarily like an LGBTQ friendly type of space or drag friendly type of space or something like that. It's usually like smaller and intimate, and we have like lighting options, and there's no children. Yeah. You know? Well,
they did say you might want to put your children in the back for this one.
Let me tell you how many times I said to them, not might, you need to move your children further to the back of the room, please. Like,
that was funny. I was like, okay, yeah, it's gonna get spicy today.
Mm-hmm. I even told our host Marvin, Professor M. I even told him, I was like, I'm going to take it as far as if you don't see people moving their children, be like, look, here's the deal. Yeah.
This is not kid friendly.
You brought them to a tattoo expo, which means your kids are obviously already going to be exposed to a certain amount of exposed flesh.
Nastiness.
Right? I mean, everywhere you walk, somebody's got, you know, a shirt up
ass
or a
hanging
pant
out,
down or whatever. Out. Right? So like, I get
it. Homeboy in the devil outfit.
Yeah, that's Professor M.
Yeah, balls hanging. Right? He was balls out for real.
Yeah, he was like.
Shout outs to him, man. He was.
Yeah,
he was
Professor
confident.
M is amazing.
Professor M, he did a good job though.
Right? Yeah. When I approached Tommy about it, which was like months and months in the work, by the way. Like I think I contacted him like. Probably very close to when April's convention was. Wow. Was like when I first contacted him about it. We went email back and forth for like the longest time. And then, you know, and then I told him, I was like, look, here's the deal. Like, I want this to like really hit it, you know? So I was like, I want to get you the best talent that I know. That means that like I'm drawing from multiple states. Right. And that also brings like, you know, larger audience and all that stuff. Whenever you bring in performers from other states, it's great because it gives you more exposure for your event. Yeah. So, but you know, Professor M, he has been like the name in burlesque in Connecticut.
So he's well known.
Yeah.
Oh snap! I didn't even know.
So
that.
all over in like the Fairfield area, but he's also traveled all over the country. Wow. But in Rhode Island and Massachusetts, burlesque has kind of like not taken off the same as drag has, because drag's just gone out of control lately, which is great.
But I think they've been since like RuPaul's Drag Race and all that stuff, right? It's just been
my girl Ru putting it on the map. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout outs to RuPaul, man.
Shout outs to
RuPaul. See, I'm hip to. See, I'm learning.
He's been around forever, but only just now has gotten to this height.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm still learning about all these different, you know, events and stuff that's been going on, because I didn't even know this was a whole thing. Yeah. To be honest, before I went to the convention that day, I was like, oh snap, this is a whole nother.
Yes, it's a whole world.
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. So
burlesque is like drag's like straight sister. I don't know. Okay. Not really, because we're completely LGBT. Like there's almost everybody is somewhere in the letter club. Right. You know, but we are just it's basically taken the idea of women stripping out of the traditional like male location.
This is more like classy, right? More classy,
like you know, like strip clubs all but shut down pretty much with 2020. You know,
the pandemic,
with the pandemic and everything, right? So, like, it's gotten this whole new resurgence because now we've kind of claimed it as like something that is like, hey, us ladies can decide like how to control the narrative of us being naked on stage and do it in a way that we love what we're doing and can embrace like the dance that we love, get the attention for our bodies in a healthy way that we're controlling. That
was one of my, that's crazy that we just led into this right now, because I was going to ask you, have you ever had like, what's the weirdest experiences that you ever had like at a show? Have you had any or not yet? Where like anybody make you feel uncomfortable, or like maybe like a stalker, you know, because like
I've been pretty lucky. But I will say like, so Siren, since she's been doing it for so long, I will say I feel like someone out there has a shrine to her.
Right.
Because every show I've ever been at with her, at least one piece of her outfit goes missing.
Wow.
And like every single time, one little tiny piece of the outfit, something she discards, goes missing. And I'm like, I swear there's somebody that has like one of them creepy, like Criminal Minds type of situations.
I just want to smell this.
Yeah, like I'm going to just sniff her glove, or like, yeah, I don't know. Like, but like, mind you, like, please, if you ever go to a burlesque show, okay, mind you,
don't
like,
be
we
creepy,
we don't get paid that much. So please, for the love of God, bring a lot of money and throw all of it at us. Okay. One of the things that was very interesting was trying to coach the crowd at Tommy's, because they didn't understand when we were like, please go up to the stage. As burlesque dancers, we want you, like, all the things you're not supposed to do for women, like catcalling and like just like every time that we remove a piece of clothing going absolutely nuts,
going
like,
crazy.
That's what we
give me more
thrive off of. So like if everybody's like 30 feet from the stage,
you're like, what, are you scared of me?
And like politely clapping like it's a golf tournament. Like I'm like, no, you need
so
to
you want people
here.
to be like aggressive, like in the strip clubs, like they come up to you, let me smack your ass. Do you want that? Oh, okay.
They're not allowed to touch.
Because I used to get kind of aggressive in the strip club.
They're not allowed to touch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's like, it's what we call burlesque
etiquette.
Etiquette, yeah.
Control yourself.
So you're still not allowed to touch. I mean, occasionally we'll like be like, hey, you pull our glove off or something, and like,
let them smell the finger or something like
that. But we usually have made our whole costume, done our hair and makeup ourselves.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. So like if we got paid like $75 or $100 for the night plus our tips or whatever, we probably spent more than that on the costume that we made, and the time that we spent creating the dance routine and all the other things. So I say all the time, like, if like, I mean, it's the best like $20-$25 ticket that you can ever get.
Exactly. But it's an experience too.
But remember to bring like more, like double that in tip money, so that way
at least throw a good $200, right?
Like plan it like a night out, like with the dudes to the strip club. Like you wouldn't have gone there with like $30 in your pockets, because that isn't even going to buy you wings.
Oh, not anymore. You can't get shit with $30. Not even a drink.
Like, what do you want? A dozen wings and like a half a beer? Like,
that's crazy. I mean? I understand what you're saying. So that must be the most challenging, since that was another question I have. The most challenging thing about performing pretty much is just getting ready for the whole thing, right? Like your outfit, your makeup.
It takes a lot of work to take your stuff off. Go figure.
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, that is, it's like we say, like I have jokes about it all the time. I'm like, it's like if they knew how long it took to get dressed just to spend 5 minutes on stage to take it off. You know what I mean? Because we're making sure everything is exactly in the right spot. We cut out all the tags in our outfits so that nothing looks out of place. And a lot of times we spend hours like bedazzling or jeweling,
and getting it together,
like everything. And then choreography, you're putting weeks of work into every routine, to be honest.
How are the dressing rooms like at burlesque shows?
It's a wide variation. Some of them don't really actually exist. It's kind of like an area off to the side that's like sort of private until people start to come in, or like a hallway in front of a kitchen.
Oh,
so
wow.
it's like, the kitchen, like staff coming out and through the door into the restaurant, and it's like you're at this hallway to like, you know, it's like, please don't put your stuff where they'll trip over it. And I'm like, where else are you supposed to put it? That is one of the things that that is one of the things that when I started producing and I talked to Siren, I was like, you know, when looking for venues, what do I need to look for? And she is very particular about making sure that her performers are taken care of.
Exactly.
And which is a fact I very much appreciate and took wholeheartedly, because I was like, the performers are the show.
Exactly.
The performers are the show. Without the performers, you don't have a show.
Exactly.
You know, like I could produce to my little heart's content. If nobody comes up to do the performance, I've got nothing.
Exactly.
So performers come first. They should and always should get this preferential treatment. And so looking for a venue, it's always, do you have a green room space, or can you make me one, provide me one, give me something completely private for before they perform. After. And when they get off the stage and they have nothing on, for them to have a safe place to go until somebody returns their clothing back to them.
So they're not harassed, right? Well, I was asking about the dress rooms also because, like, I mean, you know, being that you can tell I've back in my heyday, I used to go to a lot of strip clubs and stuff like that. But there'll be like drama and shit like that. Like, how are do women get along like behind the scenes, or like for the most part, or you know, do they keep it classy also behind the scenes, or is there like beef, drama, stupid shit that goes on?
I mean, I'm sure there is. I have not been part of a show where that's actually happened. And there's actually this little bit of shorthand when you know another performer. It actually stemmed off of something I feel like the drag community started it, where they kind of do this thing. Have you heard of like throwing shade?
Oh, of course. Yeah, yeah.
So you have like the throwing shade thing, right? So the throwing shade is like not an insulting thing. And at first, like I got thrown off. Like this one time I came in and these two performers that knew each other very, very well, but you know, I hadn't ever met before, were there and they're throwing shade back and forth. And I was like, oh my God.
You thought they were going to get into it. Yeah.
I'm like, you know, like what did I know? You know, I was a baby. So like a year ago, I was a baby.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, they really don't like each other, blah, 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 blah. Then all of a sudden, like,
they were hugging it out.
The other one just like laughs and like throws a big hug over the other one. And was like, I love you, bitch.
Oh, so they keep it professional.
Oh, what they do, okay. I get what just happened here.
Yeah, so everybody keeps it professional for the most part.
Yeah, for the most part. And I mean, I've had some things that have happened. But you know, you can pick and choose who you do and don't do business with.
Exactly.
Who you do and don't be friends with, you know. And when somebody wants to like cause drama or be part of, you can just choose not to be involved with that person.
Don't partake in it. Yeah.
You know,
or love them from a distance, right?
You know, like there's people whose work I really, really, really love, and I think they're phenomenal. I have not had pleasant experiences with the way that they have.
Oh, as a person.
Right.
I got
so I can be like, hey, you know, you're doing a great thing, blah, blah, blah. But like, no, I'm not going to be in your show.
Right.
You know what I mean? And respectfully, like, great. And no, I'm not going to accept your cast submission if you submit to my show, because like you are like, I don't need to draw that in and cause myself more problems. Like if you've already acted that way without ever knowing me.
Exactly.
So I'm one of those people, like you got to know somebody, like at least have a chance to have met somebody and formed your own opinion before deciding based on other people's opinions.
I like that. Yeah. Take it for your own opinion, right? Not by what someone else is telling you.
I'm like, you can tell me all the information you want about somebody else, and that's all gossip. And then like some of it might even be true, and that's fine. But I still am entitled to find out for myself whether or not I think that this person adds up to the thing that other people, or maybe I find some value in them that somebody else didn't see, or maybe I have a different like perspective, or they act differently with me than they do with other people.
Exactly. Now, do you have any regrets about being a burlesque performer?
Regrets. No, I mean, not really. I think it's phenomenal. I think I think there's a lot of things that need to get addressed in the burlesque world.
Like what? Give us two things at least.
Okay, so one is that I really think that you should always get paid.
I like that. Yeah. Okay. You definitely should get paid for your time, or the energy, the effort you put. Yeah. Right.
So one of the things that's very common when you're first starting out in burlesque is people expect you to go into like the variety shows and the things like that, where
Oh shit.
You're not getting paid anything except for whatever tips get thrown out during your act only.
Yeah.
And that might be like $20. That might cover your gas.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, you know, I think people should always get paid. People should always be said that they have value. And like, you ain't never heard of some stripper at a strip club that didn't get paid.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like,
unless they're fucking horrible at what they do, right? Like,
even then they get paid. You take something off, you get dollars.
Yeah.
Like that is how it works, right?
Yeah.
So like, and we're out there doing that, but we're putting a lot more into it, and we're actually usually spending a lot more on our outfits. And you know, if you're not blessed like me to have like a dance studio that you can use, because I teach ballroom,
nice.
So I can use the dance studio when there's nobody in there to practice burlesque. I don't want to do it when people are practicing ballroom. It's not a good idea.
I don't think I would recommend. So wait, you have a ballroom studio too?
So it's not mine.
Okay. But you teach classes?
I teach at a ballroom studio. Yes.
Nice. You know what's fun? I've been wanting my daughter to do like dance class and stuff like that. It's fucking expensive though to do classes like dance classes and stuff. How much is it to do ballroom classes? How much is it to do that? What do you charge normally? Not to be in your business.
No, that's okay.
For those out there that might want to contact you.
Yeah.
Oh, where can we follow you at as well too?
Oh yes. So well, you know, you can follow me at Ms. Lilo Violette.
Nice.
Follow me there. And
for classes.
So I do a lot of weddings, like mostly wedding choreography is my like main bread and butter. Yeah. So what I do is I usually start people at what I do is like it's a $125 special. And that's like 90 minutes, which is 3 30-minute sessions.
Okay, that's not too bad.
I call that the upgrade from the 8th grade shuffle.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like those couples who are like, I don't really want a full choreographed routine. I just don't want to stand out there and do the stand and sway.
Yeah.
Right?
Look
like,
awkward.
We just want something like, you know, so I can give you like a walk-on entrance, teach you what type of ballroom dance style goes to the song that you've selected.
Nice.
Give you 1 or 2 little moves that let her do like a little twirly thing or dip or something, you know, to like add some interest, you know, and then like a finishing move for the dance. So they have like a loosely choreographed routine in that $125.
That's a good deal.
Session is a really great deal. People who want a full, huge
extravaganza.
Yes. Yeah. That's a whole different scenario altogether. So, you know, but the more hours you sign up for, the less the rates are. So and it starts at like $105 an hour.
I like it. Wow, so, that's good. That's good. Now, what advice would you give to someone out there who wants to try burlesque, but they seem like nervous or they overthinking it? You know, they're just like, I don't know if I should do this, but I want to.
Go to a class.
Go to a class first? Go to a class.
There's actually a lot of great ones out here in Rhode Island.
Well, who would you recommend? Off the top, it could be just 1 or 2 or one in general.
There's a few of them. So you can go. There's I can't think of them off the top of my head. Out here, there's a heel studio. There's a heel studio in Mass, Steel Coast Stiletto.
Yep.
There are, I cannot think of the name of the studio in Providence that I was going to, but if you look it up online, it's like Studio 404 or something like that. I think
they do a good job.
I might be wrong about the exact name of it, but it's in Providence, and they have a Sunday class. There's several of them. So if you just like look up either heels class, burlesque class, they pop up all over, and some of them are like series, and then other ones are just one-off classes.
Nice.
But it'll help you just to kind of decide whether like you feel good enough in your body to do it. And some people just do the class and they never do get on stage, you know? And then I would say go to a show.
Now, we're going to be wrapping it up soon, but I wanted to know what's next for Miss Lilo Violette.
What is next for me? So I have all this stuff going on with the Canalive Genetics, which is the grow that I just did the photography for.
Nice.
So I'm going to be at an industry party of theirs actually in Boston on Wednesday, which I'm super pumped about.
Nice.
So hopefully I'll get some more photo clients off of that. I have my publications coming out. I actually currently do not have, I had something that was like sort of hesitantly in the works in the burlesque department. But like I said, in Connecticut, it's not like in Rhode Island and Massachusetts where it's really taken off. Connecticut's still kind of just establishing itself in the burlesque world, and there's not a lot of opportunity there. So usually, unless I want to travel all the way out here,
I definitely want to do a shoot with you one of these days. And I know we spoke about this briefly, but I'm like I said, I photography is like one of my first passions, and I wish I would have just bring a camera today and we would have went and did a shoot or something. I didn't even
bring mine.
Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to doing a shoot with you. Hopefully in the future, that'll be pretty cool.
We should definitely do
that.
Now,
do you have any shows or events coming up? Anything recent that you could think of, or like maybe next month or in January? Anything for the new year? Any other Tommy's tattoo conventions that you're doing?
Interestingly, I contacted them right after. Where did I put that little piece of paper? Whatever.
I gave it to you. Oh.
I gave it back. No. You did. And the mystery of this skirt is that it's disappeared. Okay.
So you say you contacted Tommy's?
Okay. Yeah, so I did contact them right after the show. So it was kind of like this weird situation because like right after the show, all of the photos that were like getting posted up, and even before the show, during the convention and everything, every day, like, you know, they would post stuff on the Tommy's site and all that stuff. And I was a little miffed because I'm like one of those people where I'm like, you know, there is such a thing as just like realizing you're being omitted from something, and you like,
right. Oh, like they didn't include you want to say in the promotion?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. So they didn't include us. Like all the promotion that was done for my show was all generated by me. Okay. So like all of the times that you saw it posted on Tommy's site was because I created an ad and then posted it up there.
Gotcha.
And I had sent it to them first, and then I waited a few days, and when they didn't post it, I went and posted it myself to the event page because it's the only page I can post things to.
Right.
So I thought that was a little sketch. So then, you know, and then, you know, the show happens and all that stuff, and weeks go by, and they are like doing all these thank yous and shout outs to all the different entertainment and the midget
But nothing for you.
But nothing to us serious? Women who got on stage and took our flipping clothes off.
That's crazy. Y'all got to do better, Tommy's Tattoo Convention. That's crazy.
And like, and I had hung out with him on Saturday night too. Yeah. Like, you know, like I was like, what the hell?
So no type of promotion at all.
Yeah. So, you know, wow. I was a little miffed about that. And, you know, but but the reception of the people there and they were like, oh my God, like about time they bring us something different for entertainment. And like burlesque really fits in with the whole tattoo world.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
what I mean?
It's all exotical shit, you know?
Yeah.
It goes hand in hand.
Yeah, you know, like our little fringe society people, right? You know? Yeah. That's where I belong.
The rebels of society.
That's right. Yeah, so, you know, I just was, you know, I was like, what the heck?
You was bummed by it.
Now the photographer has finally like put all of her photos up, which include photos of the burlesque show. So I'm happy about that. At least that's now out there, and people can actually see that, hey, by the way, we were there.
Yeah.
But not only were we there, we freaking killed it.
Yeah, you did. You did an amazing job.
I had Clams
Beetlejuice
Casino.
was my favorite. I'm not gonna lie.
That's Clams
she
Casino.
Killed it. Yeah.
She is amazing. She came all the way down from Maine.
Wow.
Okay, from Maine, people. All right, Clams Casino. If you, it's Clams with a Z, exclamation point, casino with a K.
I like it. I like it.
She was all excited. She's like, Clams Casino is going to perform at a casino. She was so excited.
She did fucking dope.
She's
she did
adorable.
a good job. Now, anything else that you would like to promote that I didn't cover or that I might have missed?
No, I don't think so. But I did want to ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Okay. The question was, so we met at the Tommy's Tattoo Convention. Did you get work done while you were there?
A tattoo?
Yes.
No, I did not. Because I was there to work.
Okay. So did you go there just out of professional interest, or was it like, I also want to go there out of personal interest?
So I went out of, somebody invited me with shout out to PBZ Killing Them from Ruthless Inc. He invited me to go over there to do some content for him. So I did pictures, I did video, and then I did my interviews, which I was interviewing people. That's how we met.
Yeah.
But I love tattoos. I love the whole tattoo community has shown me nothing but love, to be honest. But I was there more for a professional. I was there to work. And like, you know, a lot of people were telling me, they're like, wow, you were like focused. You were just like there working. But like, I would like to go there also to enjoy it, but it's just like, I guess because I'm so hungry right now, and right now, like everywhere I go, I'm like trying to create, trying to get content. So, you know, sometimes I don't even enjoy as much as I want to, but I do enjoy what I do, and I get like what I came there for is what I accomplished.
Exactly.
Much, and I made a lot of connections.
Yeah. And I think that's the thing. It's like everywhere you go, just being yourself and putting yourself out there gives you an opportunity for like the right people that respond to your energy, your vibe, and what you're putting out there are going to then respond and like help you grow. And I feel the same way because like I was there. This is the first time that I've ever been there where I was like in a working capacity.
Right.
And every time I've ever gone to Tommy's before, because I go to both conventions, and every time I've gone before, I always got to like walk around and enjoy it and like go see everything. And I don't even think I got through all of the rows over the entire weekend.
You were busy.
Yes, I was like busy. I was making sure my performers were all set. I was making sure the stage was good. The music was good. And, there's a lot of things that go into producing that are really important to make sure that, there's a lot of stuff that happens before you see the the big shebang. Yeah, exactly. But people, if you want to continue to see Burlesque at the New England Tattoo Convention, which happens in April, which is also run by Tommy's, or at the Tommy's Tattoo Convention next October, reach out to them. Bother them, tell them that you want that to be part of the entertainment, because I did reach out to them afterwards and they were like, oh, we're already all set for the entertainment. And I was like, I already know you're not, but okay. I was like, there's no way, because you didn't make a decision until like June or July on the last one. So like that didn't make any sense to me. And I was like, and why wouldn't you have already thought to reach out to me if you were interested in having another one? So reach out to them, because if you enjoyed it, if you like it, or you want to see it again, or you'd like to have seen it and you didn't get a chance to,
contact Tommy's Tattoo Convention, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Harass them.
Now we're going to get into Album of the Week real quick.
You are now tuned in.
Hold on 1 second. We're getting into Album of the Week real quick.
Album of the week on the J-Mack Experience Podcast.
Album of the Week this week is Gratitude by Mary J. Blige. Are you an R&B fan?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, you got to check that album out. We're getting into Movie of the Week.
Movie of the week on the J-Mack Experience Podcast.
Movie of the Week this week is Moana 2. Are you going to check that out?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm super pumped about it.
Well, now you heard it here first on the J-Mack Experience Podcast. Make sure you check it out. Where can we follow you at social media-wise once again?
That's at Ms. Lilo Violette.
And can we agree that all the experiences that you went through or are going through got you to where you are today?
Yes.
100%?
100%. You cannot get anywhere without going through something. So just get through it. Get out the other side. There is another side.
I like it. Any advice out there for those who may be experiencing the same situations that you went through or are going through?
Yeah. I just want to say, keep your head up. Know your own worth. Don't let anybody tell you that you're not worth it. Not who you know in your heart that you are. Just be yourself, because yourself is beautiful. Okay. And if you can't look at yourself and say, I'm beautiful, I want you to just look in the mirror and be like, I'm beautiful. The body I have is the body I have. The life I have is the life I have. Things are going to happen or they're not. But at the end of the day, you are all you have. Your facility is what you have, and you have to make the best out of every situation for yourself.
I like it. Any last words or special shout outs that you would like to mention before we sign off?
I just want to also shout out my friend Ruby at Fresh Cup Cafe in
Westerly.
She is definitely interested in coming and being on your show.
I can't wait to have her on the show. That'll be awesome.
Yeah. She runs the most amazing little cafe. She's an amazing baker.
Nice.
I can't eat any of the stuff that she makes.
Yeah.
It all smells delicious, and everyone else tells me it's really, really yummy. But it has sugar, and I can't eat sugar. But she uses some of her grandma's actual recipes.
Oh, I'm looking forward
in the things that she makes. Yeah. You're gonna have to sucker her into bringing you some treats when
What's
she comes.
We like free things. So if you're seeing this before you come on the show, bring us some cupcakes, bring us some butter rolls, something.
Yes,
some
and I
chocolate
promise
chip
you, I will
cookies.
take a trip back here,
Nice.
and bring you so that I can sign your copy.
Absolutely,
of my magazine.
and we got to do some pictures too.
Yes,
I definitely
for
want to
sure.
do some photos. Even if we do it just locally, it doesn't. We have a nice
Absolutely.
park over here that we can shoot actually by Roger Williams. You would love it. I think you would like
one
it.
thing that you learn as being a photographer is like when you look at you just see things differently.
Right.
So when you're just looking around us, you're like, oh, we could take a picture in that like one corner or whatever. Like you just walk through a space and you're just like, oh, that's a photo area. Oh, that's a photo area. Like you don't have to have, and please people, you do not have to have something special like set up. You don't have to have like a special set or like anything crazy or whatever to make good photography. That's not necessary.
You just need the
your
eye.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
it's
it.
It's really your eye. It's the artistry. Yeah.
Well, episode 52, the Jmack Experience Podcast. Miss Lilo Violette, it's been an honor and a pleasure to have you on my platform. We're signing out the Jmack Experience Podcast. Gra.
Thanks for coming on the JMack Experience Podcast. Be sure to come on for another episode every single week. Until next time, peace.
Black Sheep CMOS. It'll make you want to slap your daddy.
Oh, harder, Daddy.